I'm true to this, not new to this. Hello. Hi. Welcome to So Here's What I'm Thinking. This is a new series I believe I will start on this channel. I'm not sure how long it will be, how frequent it will be, but the beauty of creating is just getting to do it when the spark arises. And I've always tried to approach my work in that way, or my writing in that way. Obviously writing that I'm not doing for the job. But yeah, I think I like to create and put things out there when it feels right. I think that the general sentiment around being consistent with posting to grow an audience and to grow a brand and to grow your voice and to have ultimately influence has never really sat right with me. And I understand that's how the algorithm works. That's quite literally how you grow an audience. But I just don't know if that's how I want to show up in the world, or how I want to, like the place I want to come from when writing or when speaking like this, with a set schedule, with a thing in mind to grow my audience, because I know it will no longer be fun for me or interesting to me, or just like me kind of treating this like a project that like the little girl in me would really enjoy if I came at it with the angle of I need to stick to a set schedule. So this is really the pilot episode. This is the start of something truly new, and I have no idea what it's going to amount to. But yeah, that's just where I'm at. But anyway, this is a new series called So Here's What I'm Thinking. I'm your host, Aja, and this is basically just a peek inside my brain where you can learn with me in real time, conceptualize, intellectualize with me in real time, because you can't blame a girl for being 24, being new to this, living alone for the first time, living in a new city for the first time, and learning a lot, like very quickly. I'm just making sense of the world in real time, and I think it's beautiful to archive and document that, and I don't think that it's to be belittled or hidden away. And that's kind of the topic of today's little mini rant, little FaceTime call, if you will. I recently wrote a piece called Take the Pressure Off on Substack, and I kind of talk about this tension between having all of these ideas, having these observations about the world around me, and takes on how pop culture intersects with identity politics, whatever it may be. I'm extremely interested in those topics, and I know that in casual conversations with friends I could talk for hours about these things, but when it comes to actually sharing my perspective online via Substack, via Instagram story, whatever it may be, I'm extremely paralyzed, mostly by the thought of public scrutiny from peers who may know more than me, who may be more well-researched, more well-read about the topic at hand, especially when it comes to connecting the dots and addressing all the nuances to what I'm talking about. My biggest fear is being short-sighted in my observations and reporting based on my lack of experience or historical context on the topic I'm speaking about. But shouldn't I be afforded the ability to learn and make mistakes publicly? I think that being a trained journalist and producer is a blessing, because then I can approach my work with a certain sense of excellence. But it also stifles me in the way that when I'm an associate producer for a show, for example, I'm tasked with becoming a temporary subject matter expert on the thing I'm producing. I must know the pre-interview questions, the background information on our guests, the background information on the story and the thing that we're addressing, because the host, other producers, and even the guests are looking to me to have these answers. And of course, as a reporter as well, you should be very familiar with the content that you're writing. Otherwise, your reporting will be short-sighted and surface level, and I am someone who values long form, very dug into and lived in journalism. So I think that when it comes to observing my own thoughts, observing my something happening in the world and wanting to talk about it, wanting to use my skills to write about it, I become so stiffened at the thought of writing something, saying something, and then getting it wrong, or being proved wrong, or someone commenting and being like, well, you failed to address the fact that this that you're talking about digs into the colonial past of this, and the da-da-da-da-da, and the economic factors of that, and the classes da-da-da-da. And while that's honestly going to be a reality, the more I put my voice out there and the more I put my work out there, I just need to shed the fear of being corrected and also shed the fear of being wrong. I'm 24. My opinions are going to change probably every 2 weeks, and that's okay. That's why this mini podcast, if you can call it that, this little mini think piece, but not really, is about me learning in real time and inviting you to learn in real time with me, because these voices of learning in real time and not having all the answers and not having all of the lived experience and the archives of knowledge are just as important as those who do, as those who are historians and who can connect all of the dots. I think that the very new emerging voices in its infantry are just as important. That's kind of what this whole series is about. That's what this piece is about, and the series is kind of birthed from that idea that I can just figure it out in real time and then change my opinion, go back again, adjust, recalibrate, or I can say it with my chest and stick by it and die on that hill. So here's to figuring it out in real time and learning in real time. And if you've been feeling paralyzed as well with, some of your opinions and your thoughts and observations on things, whether it be socio-cultural commentary like me and what I'm interested in, or even anything on the civil rights movement, I'm starting to dig into that and build my library on that. And I feel so much imposter syndrome digging into it and then even speaking about it, because I'm like, girl, I literally don't know all of the nuances, all of the historical figures, the character, the people, and the movements that I'm supposed to know. But isn't that the beauty of learning? Isn't that the beauty of digging into it? So I think that if you're in that similar spot, that similar vein, especially when it comes to something that you want to create but you're scared that you don't know enough yet, you haven't gathered enough knowledge yet, you lack the historical context, baby girl, baby boy, baby whoever, I really need you to listen to me when I say this. Put the thing out there. Like I said in my piece, advice from my 7th grade science teacher that really sticks with me is bake the cake and decorate it later. So worry about getting it out there and then worry about fixing it once it's out there. I know that might feel contrary and contradictory to someone's perfectionistic inclinations, but I've had to actively fight against that. Like, for example, I purposely didn't do any research, look up any quotes or any social phenomenon that goes with what I'm trying to communicate here, because it doesn't need to be backed up by research for me to know that what I am feeling is valid and true for me. Another thing I kind of talk about in my piece that really gets me is the sense of urgency to get to know myself as quickly as possible so that I can write from that grounded place of knowing myself. I will really have a lot to write about when I have a lot of experiences in life, which is true, but we shan't be in a rush to do it, because what's the point? What's the actual point? What are we doing? And I kind of connected this in a little sidebar note in my piece to living in a convenience culture where everything's neatly packaged and quickly delivered to you, literally groceries, fast fashion, you name it, literally everything. Nothing takes time anymore. The friction is reduced. The friction and the effort that it takes to get to know yourself is diluted when it comes to fast fashion. A lot of you can literally just fit yourself into a neatly packaged micro trend and aesthetic that you find cool, that may not actually really resonate with your identity, or maybe you find it cool, I don't know, but you didn't put the time and the effort and the work in to be invested in that particular subculture. I'm thinking punk, for example, or anything really. And there you can just decide, I'm cottagecore, I'm mob wife, whatever that means, and then just wake up and go buy the things that will signal to other people that you're a part of that culture, and boom, quick, done. And it may look to other folks You know who you are, you know your style, you've got personal, unique style. And so sometimes I have to resist the urge to thinking that it works that same way when it comes to learning myself. Like, we want to know ourselves and be unique and individual so badly that we're willing to actually sacrifice what it takes to actually do that by like fast tracking and fast forwarding it. And I just realized, like, oh, I actually just have to surrender to the process. Cool. Like, I actually just have to live life. And it may take me up till I'm 45 to truly know myself and then write from a place of feeling grounded. But I don't need to wait and reserve my writing for when I know myself. It actually might be quite beautiful to write along the way while I'm naive, while I'm still learning, while I'm still growing, so that I have a whole body of work to look back on and smile at and be like, oh, silly girl, you didn't even know what you were talking about. But like, I love that I can peek back into my 20-year-old brain, my 20-something-year-old brain. So I think like I'm just caught in between like the rush I feel to get to know myself and to grow and to come into my own and learn my values and my morals and have them be cemented and solidified, while acknowledging it's quite advantageous for me to be in my youth right now and to be growing and learning and then documenting that growth and that learning and not discounting my voice because I am young. So yeah, there's that. And I share these thoughts both on Substack and both on YouTube and Instagram and wherever else this goes to affirm that feeling that you may have as well, that it's okay to not have learned everything yet. And that's my take. Cheers.